Hello, this is Azrael, and in this video we are going to be talking about magic jars and bottles. The most commonly known one is called the witch's bottle, which is usually used for protection and sending back negativity. The other one that I'm going to be talking about was made popular by hoodoo traditions, which its main function is to attract love or cause somebody to think more positive about you. Now, one of the things I love about these jars is because they are very, very beginner friendly. A matter of fact, this is a good thing to use with your powders that you will make. You can even use incense without even burning the incense. Just the ingredients of the incense that you use to attract love, peace, and so forth can be used in these bottles. And again, I encourage greatly that you make your own concoctions. Uh, just keep in mind, following this one simple rule, like attracts like, and that everything used for a magical purpose has a dual meaning. Okay, so the same ingredient you use for something positive can be used for something negative. All you're doing is switching the intent to the other side. Think of it like a kitchen knife, the kitchen knife being the magical item. You can use it to defend your house if somebody breaks in. You can be a psychopath and do something stupid with it. Or you can use what it was originally meant for, which is to benefit everybody in the house by cooking a delicious, nutritious meal. And in other traditions, they often add maybe another ingredient to something when they're wanting to do some uh, darker magics. For example, you could take the love incense that you make and add something to ground it into the negative, like adding something foul. That is one reason why a lot of uh, hexing magic uses like lemons or chili peppers because they're sour, even though uh, chili peppers can be used for something positive. Again, I know I said this in my other video, but it doesn't hurt to repeat a little bit. And lemons are also used for cleansing, and not just the sourness. But again, they often add an extra ingredient to uh, help their brain and their will and intent to shift from the positive to the negative. This is just something I've noticed by reading other people's spells. Well, on with the show. I prefer to use bottles that are not made of plastic. I prefer to use anything in magic that is completely more natural. So therefore, I'll use a glass jar or a clay jar with a lid, and the lid is usually metal. I like to use pickle jars, for example. Um, but you can use plastic jars if you want. Um, so the witch's bottle has been used for hundreds of years. Not too long ago, an archaeologist dug up a witch's bottle in Europe, still intact. What you usually put in here is sharp objects, nails, pins, tacks. I've even seen people put broken glass in it. Now, the concept is that these sharp things, are dangerous, and you're tapping into the fact that it's also would repel you. It's going to repel their magic. Then you place something that's a part of you in this jar. A lot of people traditionally will use urine. If you don't like using that, you can use wine or vinegar and spit in the jar. To this anchors you into the jar, and this makes this jar realize that this is you and your territory, your household. This is protecting you and your house. Also, if you don't want to use the urine and you're under 21 and you can't buy the wine, I usually tell people to buy red wine vinegar. Now, again, this spell is engineered for you to send back negativity, and absorb it and keep it from harming you and your household. Now, there's two schools of thought on this. Some people say you should keep it in your house. Other people say you should bury it farther away from your house. Now going on to the sweet thoughts jar. This is fairly simple, and you pretty much you put sweet things in there. You could put the powdered sugar. You could put honey. You could put sugar water. You could put rose petals. You can put if you have somebody in mind. Now I'm going to stop right here. If you're going to cast a love spell onto somebody, which I highly say that you shouldn't, because if you have to influence somebody in any way other than your own personal charm, you shouldn't cast the spell on them. It's much better to cast a spell to attract a love into your life instead of casting it onto somebody else. Because again, uh, in my opinion, it's always better for somebody to love you without any influence except for your own natural charms. That's just what I believe. But moving on, also, if you cast a love spell onto somebody, it's going to work both ways. Now, this person might start thinking good about you because you've influenced them. But what's also going to happen is that you've already have this attraction to them, so yours might be increased. And in any given way, it's not going to be equal. You will almost always be the one more attracted to the person that you cast a spell on than they are on you. And when that always ends badly. So moving on, if you're just trying to use this as a way of um, helping somebody forgive you or be more prone to talk to you after an argument, for example, this is okay. You could put their picture in there. You can put a little piece of belonging in the of theirs into the jar, and also if you're wanting to attract somebody in general, you could write on a piece of paper what you're looking for and wrap it around a lodestone, which is basically a natural magnet, and put it in the jar and shake it up every day, every now and then. Just shake it up, thinking about this person coming into your life, or this person that you're thinking about forgiving you in the argument, for example. It's very simple, and you just shake it up, and you could charge it too. Now, if you're wanting to use the same technique like a witch's jar, you could also burn a black candle on it. Okay, um, mixing with some sharp objects and so forth. The black candle will help banish the negativity. If you can't get a black candle, you can use a white candle because in most traditions, a white candle is a universal substitute for any color, at least in my tradition. Now, a little bit more of the darker side. These jars can also be used for hexing, causing people to have nightmares and so forth by using the same technique. I once knew a root worker down the road from me when I was young, and he was doing this jar thing, and he had little pictures of monsters he cut out of a book, uh, and with the person's belonging. I think it was as hair from his comb or something, and he was shaking it up with things like cayenne pepper, lemon pill. But I'm going to give you a little list. But again, this was to give this poor guy nightmares or make sure he doesn't sleep very well for whatever reason. And I don't promote people doing black magic in general, but I think you most definitely need to study both and maybe understand that the universe, in order for it to be balanced, you just can't say love and light, and study and practice the lighter side of magic and claim that you're balanced by staying and avoiding the other. You got to understand the nature in and of itself is amoral. I mean, uh, you have to defend yourself. The universe isn't going to defend yourself for you. Okay, the recipe as follows for the love powder or the sweet thoughts powder: 2 parts sugar, preferably powdered sugar; 1 part cinnamon; 1 part cayenne to add the spice to the relationship; and 1 pinch of blessed sea salt. Again, this is good for being a powder, not as an incense, because the sugar is gives off a bad smell when you burn it. For the incense, it goes as follows: equal parts frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, cinnamon, rose oil, just a drop or two of that, or rose petals. For the crossing powder, I use 2 parts graveyard dust or dirt, 1 part cayenne pepper, and a few pinches of black salt. Other ingredients I sometimes add is powdered mandrake root, ginger, dragon's blood. And for the hexing incense, I use the same thing. In this case, the powder makes a great incense. Now, thank you for listening. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Please let me know what topics you might like in the future down below in the comment section. And until then, take care.